Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about my topic in this sermon is Friday the 13th. Sometimes we think about different things, and our favorite things individually is different. As an individual, every single person has different hobby. And one of my interested thing is collection. I don't need the agency for collection. I'm not talking about financing. I'm not talking about debt as an money debt. I'm interested in collecting things. I have some collection. One of the oldest collection that I have, one of the oldest collection I have is a stamp collection. I don't gather any stamp recently. If I want to collect stamp, I have to go and buy stamp to collect the stamps. But my collection is old, and I'm not going to update my collection of stamps. Another collection I have, collection of sporting goods. I have different sporting game. I'm not talking about Xbox or anything like that. I'm collecting sporting goods, halter, dumbbell, dart, and a squash racket, these things. And also I have collection of movies, and I try to buy movie collection. I don't buy movie individually. There is movies all over the place. But when I want to buy a movie, when I want to watch movies, I buy movie collection. For example, Xena from season 1 until season 8. Or when I buy Lord of the Ring, I buy 3 of them. When I buy Harry Potter, a whole season of Harry Potter. I buy collection. And some of these collections change lives. Today, I'm going to talk about Friday the 13th. Is Friday the 13th change lives? For some people, yes. For some people, when they believe in a superstition, when they believe in such things that they are rooted in their beliefs, they changes lives. When your decision based on those professionals that give you advice and professional suggest that, think negatively, and you believe them, so your life changes, but not for the better. Your life changes for the worse. When you listen to professionals that tell you that, think negatively, your life change and turn it to worse. Your situation get worse. I'm talking about Friday the 13th today. So stop thinking negatively. Recently, I was watching a movie collection. As you know, I'm interested in collection. In that movie, which name is Charm, another movie collection that I have is Charm series. That there are three sisters that they find out that they have a special power, and middle of the season, the oldest sister dies, and they find out that they have another sister, and again they become three. Charm one, charm again. But in that movie, in Friday the 13th, that happened every 100 years, demon of fear comes and try to kill as much as rich as possible. How he killed witches? He sees, he do something like this, and see the biggest fear of all. And when he sees the fear of that person he intend to kill, he projects that fear into that person. That's the problem. For example, if you are afraid of suffocating, for example, your biggest fear is suffocating. You have a normal life, and demon of fear, for example, comes through the door of your room. Demon of fear comes through the door of your room, and you feel that you are suffocating. There is nothing, everything is normal. You imagine your fear becomes a reality. Your fear becomes reality. This is my point. This is my point. When you think negatively and you are waiting for disaster to come, you think negatively, right? And whatever you think, it grained in your brain and you believe it. You believe in negative things. When you think negatively, you believe in negative. Then it happened really. It doesn't happen anything, but you think it happening. You say, oh, it's happening. Oh, what should I do? What should I do? Because you think negatively. The worst comes the worst. So I suggest enough is enough. Period. Don't think negatively anymore. Enough is enough. So in that movie, it was happening like this. He was killing witches by their most fear. He intended to do this to remain on earth. He was afraid himself. He wants to get out of that situation, purgatory or something, to come on earth. Nowadays in churches, it's happening. False teachers of the church believe in superstition. And even when they want to write a book, they believe in superstition. And they promote superstition in the church because they are afraid. But sooner or later, as their church is closed, your church will be closed. Believe me. Because They didn't calculate correctly. They think they calculated. Even some false teachers, they go to school to study calculating. But when they didn't when they didn't calculate correctly, they had to close their churches. If you don't, a false teacher said, oh, I cannot go to work, I have meeting. So that's what happened if you don't go to work. Your church closed because you cannot pay the rent. You have to go to work to earn money to pay the rent. Then your church doesn't close. But if you don't go to work, your church will be closed. So don't follow those false teachers that tell you that thing negatively. Don't follow them. Don't listen to them. Fortunately, I am sensitive, and my heart is close to God's heart. My heart is close to God's heart, and I'm sensitive to Holy Spirit. And I never, ever listen to them. Never, ever. It seems devil worshipper gather in group of 12. And Satan himself is the number 13. That's the origin. That's the origin and the start point of Friday the 13th. When I was researching about Friday the 13th, it said that it goes back to Last Supper. They believe that when 12 people gather around the table, 12 people gather around the table, that Jesus Christ, the 13 himself. They believe that it started from there. So devil worshipper copied that, and they worship Satan in a group of 12. And Satan himself is the 13th person. And they call his name. They call the devil himself name. And I think I'm not sure, I think they gather every Friday to worship Satan. Some people are so paralyzed by the Friday 13. Some lives change because of this. Even nowadays, in an apartment building that I live, there is no 13th floor. I live in 14. But after the 12th floor, it jumped to 14 that I live. There is no 13th floor. In elevator, there is no button for 13. There is no 13th floor. So superstition rooted in this word. There is no 13 because 13 is cursed. Especially Friday the 13 is cursed because it's double curse, right? 13 is cursed, Friday is cursed, Friday the 13 is cursed. Let's read the Bible. 1 Timothy 4:7. I have nothing to do with irreverent, silly myths. Rather, train yourself for godliness. When you promote thinking negatively, you are promoting devil teaching and false teaching. That's why I tell you, as I told you before, when you send the message, wrong message, when you send the wrong message, it come back to you 100%. Believe me. And 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. And nowadays, I seen with my own eyes that verse is happening in the churches today. We still see in the churches that people with VIP card in the lobby looking for somebody to roar and devour. They still see somebody is praying. In the word, we have predator and we have prey. So devil himself in the church looking for somebody to devour with roar. First thing 7:1. Solomon was building his own house 13 years and he finished his entire house. How long does it take? If you have a renovation, if you're building something, how long does it take for you to finish it? Maybe it take 13 years for your renovation to finish. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it takes 13 because for the Solomon took 13 years to finish the house. Your renovation maybe took for 13 years. How long does it take? That is why I say we should have a house of our own. We should have a house of our own. We should have that. Let's go back to original story. I want to look at original again. I want to look at original again. The Holy Bible actually has multiple references of a bad thing happening on a Friday. Just for fun, imagine Adam and Eve ate fruit, that forbidden fruit, that we don't know what kind of fruit was that. Just for fun, imagine Adam and Eve ate fruit on Friday and Solomon finished the temple on Friday. So Persian, when they get money, they build the churches and they finish the church on Friday. All of these happen on Friday. Are they consequences? I don't think so. So be careful of Friday. Maybe I'm not suggesting. Don't quote me on that. Maybe Friday is cursed. Maybe Friday is cursed. Some culture, like Latin America, think of Tuesday as the unlucky one. Latino culture think Tuesday as cursed. So maybe based on your culture, Tuesday is the unlucky and cursed one. So be careful of Tuesday as well. Spanish people, they don't get married on Tuesday. So you better be on a safe side and don't get married on Tuesday. They say martes nite cases, martes nite cases, nite embarques. I wrote it down. I don't know. What does it mean? I didn't look for the meaning. I'm going to talk about these things next Friday when I'm going to talk about falling humanity. I talk about meaning of why we have meaning of everything. Okay, so on Friday the 13th, especially Friday the 13th, avoid black cat at any cost. At any cost, avoid the black cat because something disastrous is going to happen. Avoid black cats. Avoid it at any cost. It's triple curse. You see, I guess it's 4-time curse because Friday curse, 13 is curse, cat is curse, black is curse. So 4-time curse. So Friday the 13th, avoid black cat at any cost. Although I don't believe in this superstition, but I wanted to tell you some original. I wanted to go back to original. So that's why I'm telling you these things, because I went back to original. And original things, they believe in this from original. When you want to go back to original, you have to believe in this superstition. Although I don't believe in this. I don't have time for this superstition. I don't have time for negative thinking. But just to be on the safe side for you, not for me, because I know, I'm certain, I don't believe on negative thinking. I don't believe in this superstition. But for you, I suggest for you just to be on the safe side. Avoid black cat on Friday the 13th at any cost. According to legend, the Knights Templar, a powerful religious order that served as early bankers for all sorts of powerful people, were arrested on Friday, October 13, 1307. The church himself arrested on Friday the 13th. Another consequences, another thing that happened on Friday the 13th. Okay. And they also say Friday the 13th, flood of Noah happened on Friday the 13th. I don't know. I just look at internet. I research internet. I found this information. So, if you don't believe this, it's up to you. I don't believe it either because I want to go back to original. That's why I'm telling you this. If I didn't have to go back to original, I didn't say these things at all. Okay. The arrests were done on the order of French King Philip IV, who wanted to get his hand on the Knights Templar cash and avoid paying them back money he's borrowed from them. The king himself, I think they didn't pay tax and king wasn't happy. King said, oh, I want to collect taxes and bring me taxes, all your taxes, bring me all your taxes. And because the church wasn't willing to pay tax to king, they arrested. It's so complicated. It's so complicated. I know. Relationship between king and church and state is so complicated. If you go back to original, when church wasn't separated from a state, you see all this. But after moving on, there was a lot of movement, there was a lot of awakening. Then they separated church from a state. Church is not in power anymore. Government is totally different from the church. Fortunately, it happened. Don't mix church with the state. In Iran, yes, I know. Unfortunately, unfortunately, in Iran, the religion, because here in Iran, church doesn't have any power. Religion and the state is the same in Iran. And if church have an opportunity, they want to go back to that position they had. Church wants to rule the world as an state, as a government. That's unfortunate. Because church mission is not like government. The false teacher in the church, they mix it up. That's why I hate false teachers. They promote hypocrisy. That's why I hate them. Philip accused the Templar of heresy and had some of the orders were arrested and reportedly tortured. So the things that church, the weapon that church has is heresy. They put a label on somebody or some team and they say heresy, 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 another heresy, heresy, another heresy, another heresy, another heresy, and they arrest. As easy as this. And government use this weapon against church itself. And a connection is drawn between the slaughtering of the Knights Templar by the church and Friday the 13th. Again, another connection. Another connection between Friday the 13th and torturing, slaughtering, and arresting and killing and cursing. There is always connection between Friday the 13th and bad things that happen. In 1881, an organization was started called the 13 Club in an attempt to improve the numbers' reputation. They said, oh, no, we don't believe in 13 being cursed. So they initiated a 13 Club. They gathered a team to promote reputation of 13. They want to prove, no, 13 is not cursed. So if you have that club, if you are a member of that club, prove it. 13 is not cursed. The 13 members walked under the ladder and spilled salt at the first meeting in an attempt to dissuade any negative association with the number. But they are not successful. They were not successful. Despite these efforts, the number 13 continues to have an unlucky association today. As we see, there is no 13th floor. There is no room with the number 13. If you have the room, you cannot have room number 13. 13 is so disliked that many cities do not have a 13th street or 13th avenue. Many high-rises buildings doesn't have 13th floor. Some hospitals avoid label room with number 13. That's it is. It goes back to original. Some people believe that it goes back to the table with Jesus Christ himself as a 13 person that attend in the table. Peace of God be with you all.